Welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about making fitness and wellness doable for busy women like you and me. Looking for healthy meal ideas, workout motivation, and good conversation? Don't worry, I got you, girl. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. I'm Tia, a certified group fitness instructor, nutrition coach, and everybody's favorite workout girlfriend. Hey, girl, hey, we have so much to get into, but before we get into literally anything, I want to remind everybody that over in the app, we have a great community of women working out, eating well, developing healthy habits. If you or anyone you know needs a little help, needs a little support, developing healthier habits, please have them reach out to me. You can do that by emailing me at tiavfitness@gmail.com or writing me on Instagram at tiavfitness for $25 a month. You can track all of the things you need to track. I give you your calories, your macros, and whenever you have a question or need a little bit of assistance, like, girl, I'm just a message away. We do fun things in the app, like take monthly walks. This month, the month of March, we're actually playing like a fun little March Madness game where I'll be working out with them all month long at random. And so everyone's going to have like a tighter core and a nice, juicy, firm booty by Easter. And I love that for them and I love that for me. If you would like to get plugged into the community on the app, you can do that by emailing me or message me on Instagram as well. So let's talk about what is on my table right now that I'm truly obsessed with. And yes, all of these things for the most part came from you know where. If you know, you know, you know. Girl, I was in there. It was my first stop. We got back from my birthday trip. I didn't go anywhere on Saturday because I was tired. Oh, yes, because girl, like, do we even know? Did we even know? First of all, we went to Curacao. Like, I'm going to talk about the trip in a little bit, but we went to Curacao. I had no idea that Curacao was near Venezuela. I had no idea that after we took that flight from Atlanta to Charlotte, which is literally only 45 minutes, you go up and you come right back down, that it would basically be close to a 5-hour flight to where we were headed. So a couple of things that I learned about that is, number one, because we were unable to fly Delta because of, I guess, the dates that he picked or whatever. I don't know. I think Delta because I've looked it up since, and I think Delta just started flying to Curacao, but it's like not daily. But they do have direct nonstop flights. And girl, if I ever go back to Curacao, which I definitely plan to, I will be flying my good girl Delta on that nonstop flight to Curacao, because let me just tell you, I don't know if we have any American Airlines girlies on the call today. But my Lord, on today, in 2024, so many takeaways from flying with the airline that I don't think I've flown with maybe since high school. I mean, I don't know. Like, I can't even remember because, I mean, living in Atlanta, you do tend to fly Delta because they have the most flights that are nonstop right here. You go, you come back. It's easy peasy. I've never had any issues. This particular flight, well, it was just very interesting. And I don't want to like complain about the things that are very small and first worldly, you know, but you know, like if you fly Delta, if your flight is a certain length of time, girl, they give you your own little TV. They pass out them little free headphones, right? So many little small touches that we have come to appreciate flying with our girl Delta. American Airlines was like, look, I know you're about to be on this 4-hour and 47-minute flight. It's basically 5 hours by the time we get everybody to sit down and follow the directions. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you can log into the Wi-Fi on your phone, and I'm going to tell you can do that. And I'm going to have you do all of the things. And on your way back home for your very last flight, that is only 45 minutes, then I'll put you on an Airbus with TVs. And I'm like, who needs a TV for a 45-minute flight? We needed this energy going down there and coming back on the big flight, but that's neither here nor there. Like I said, I don't want to complain about something small. I just wanted the girls to know. I just wanted everybody to know that should you, after today's episode, decide that you too are going to Curacao, because I guess if you live in Charlotte, and I know some of the girls on the call today, they do live in Charlotte, girl, it's a nonstop flight for you. You don't have to do all the jumping around and going through all the madness. And my prayer for you is that when you get on that American Airlines flight that takes you directly to Curacao with no stops, that they put you on a plane with an actual entertainment system and they don't make you use your phone for it. It's truly the only reason I was able to read so many books during that trip, because I was like, ooh, girl, what I'm not about to do is drain my battery. And I actually have one of the little battery packs so you can like charge your phone like in your bag or in your lap or like whatever. You can charge it as you use it. But I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm not about to sit here and drain my phone and my little battery pack trying to watch movies for this whole flight. So I think once we got maybe like an hour out or like an hour and a half out, I logged into like the flight entertainment and I watched The Best Man. Of course I did. Morris Chestnut. Hello. When he walks into there, he walks into that bar, that lounge, whatever you want to call it, for the first time. Lance Sullivan, when he walks in there, that scene is everything. So I watched The Best Man until we landed and it was fine. But like, girl. Anyway, when we got back home, I didn't go anywhere on Saturday because I just needed a day to just kind of recover from the flight and the rain and the turbulence of it all. And then on Sunday, of course, the first place that I went is to my special place. And so I go in there, and let me tell y'all, when I go in there, these are my go-to items, right? Y'all know I get the chicken in the perforated pull-apart packs, right? I also get what I like to call grown-up adult Lunchables. It's salami and it's provolone cheese in the same perforated like pull-apart packs, right? I also get a bag of their baby English cucumbers, and I get a bag of their little miniature sweet peppers. Okay? Those 4 things, you can use them in so many different ways all throughout the week to hit your macros, and like, it's just beautiful. It's lovely. I also got the udon noodle salad. It was a new item. I hadn't seen that in Costco before. So I was like, oh, I'll get this and I'll just add chicken to it. And, you know, how bad could it be? Girl, it was good. It was good. It comes with, of course, the udon noodles. It comes with like a salad mix. It's got all of the things in it that you need, like the cilantro. It comes with lime, so you can squeeze that lime juice on there. It comes with peanuts, and it comes with the dressing. It is the perfect salad. I added chicken to it because obviously, like, I need the protein. And then I also added some of the English cucumber to it because I like for my salads to have a little bit of a crunch, a little bit of a bite. So I added that and it was absolutely delicious. I'm having it again for lunch today. I'm so excited about it. Every time I think there's like Costco, you don't owe me anything. Like this is... They come back, they spin the block, and they keep surprising me. Like, they keep making that membership worth it. And I love that for me. Like, I love that I just go in there, I pick up all these things, and then all throughout the week, it's just so easy for me to make the food I need to eat. Now, with those same items that I just told you about, I also have been making these little snack bento boxes that save the day. If you find that you're hungry around 3 o'clock, instead of reaching for chips or, you know, something that's processed that has like literally no nutritional value, girl, let me tell you what to do. You pop open either, depending on the mood that you might be in, you pop open either one of the chicken packs, or I like to use the mozzarella and not mozzarella, it's provolone cheese. The provolone cheese and salami packs. I dump that into a plate, like into a little bento bowl. I get one of the little cuties oranges that I may not buy those for my kids, but I'll pop one of those. I'll peel it, break it apart, put that on my little plate. And then I'll do like 1 or 2 of the baby cucumbers and 1 of the peppers. I slice them. And here's where it gets very delicious. I take avocado toast seasoning and I sprinkle it all over the peppers and the cucumbers. I get about 2 to 3 tablespoons of Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. I take that avocado seasoning and I put it in the yogurt. I stir it up and now we have a dip. Y'all, it is so good. You will literally be scraping the dip out of whatever little container you put it in. It is amazing. It's so good. It reminds me a lot of the protein pack boxes that Starbucks sells, but it's like it's this one and it's at home, and this one doesn't come with bread, which is nothing wrong with bread. The bread in the Starbucks box is actually really good. And that one comes with, I think, everything but the bagel seasoning and 2 boiled eggs, if I'm not mistaken. It's so good. And what I love about the bento box idea is you could always swap it out. Like you could do boiled eggs instead of chicken or salami. You could literally just do whatever you have on hand. If you had steak the night before for dinner, chop a little bit of it up, boom. Now it's a very sophisticated bento box. Like, try thinking about getting more creative with your foods, mixing and matching different things. And when you get hungry, think about leaning into real whole foods instead of something that comes out of a little box or a little bag. Even if it is a 100-calorie pack, even if it is good for you, like, try to reserve those kind of things for when you absolutely have to. For example, during this trip, I packed some Skinny Pop popcorn in my backpack because I'm like, ooh, if I get hungry during one of these flights, I don't want to have to call somebody and be doing the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I can just reach down into my backpack and I can pull a snack out. And I love that. I think for this trip, I packed like 2 bags of Skinny Pop, 2 little cuties, and like a handful of these fruit snacks that I bought from Costco that are like organic. I'll have to share a picture of them on Instagram, but they're really good. One of the flavors I think is passion fruit raspberry lemonade, if I'm not mistaken, or is it pineapple raspberry lemonade? I don't know, but it's really good, you guys. Like, they are so yummy. I bought them thinking that my kids would want those put into their lunch boxes. They tasted them and they were like, oh, it's not bad, but it's like the texture of it is giving you mushed up fruit and then you let it dry. And I'm like, well, yeah, because that's exactly what it is. It's dehydrated fruit, guys. It's not a fruit roll up. But I get it. Different strokes for different folks. So, yeah, I try to reserve snacks like that for when I absolutely have to rely on them. But when I'm home and I'm in control of exactly what I'm eating, I always try to reach for, things that are like whole good foods. And I love the idea of using plain Greek yogurt as a base for a dip because it's added protein. It's good for you because of the probiotics that are in yogurt. And it's, it's easy. It's doable. It's not like you got to make a dip with 50 million ingredients. Is literally a couple scoops of plain Greek yogurt and then whatever seasoning happens to be your favorite. Like I shared on a previous episode, I've made ranch dip with plain Greek yogurt and it was absolutely amazing. The avocado toast dip that I made yesterday was as equally as satisfying. Like, it was so good. So try it out. Try making these things at home. Try different salads if you happen to be out, if you're a Sam's girl or a BJ's Wholesale girl or a Costco girl. Maybe you still, are picking up things at the grocery store. Or some of y'all get to go to Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is too far for me. It's outside of my radius that I'm willing to drive for things like that. But the next time I'm in the city, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get over to a Trader Joe's and see what all they have in there. But if you're a Trader Joe's girly or you live next to like a Whole Foods who has lots of things to choose from, start trying some of the different salads because that is another way that I think you can stay consistent just by trying different things, seeing if you like them. And the worst thing that'll happen is that you ate a really good good for you meal and you can just say like, oh, it's not for me. Like, I just didn't like that flavor, but at least now we know that and we can just keep trying other things to keep making this fun. Now, we know Easter is at the end of this month and we know that's our first mile marker of the year. Easter is. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on, but this is a great month as we get closer to spring and the weather changing and all of that. This is a great time to kind of buckle down on nutrition. Keep working out. but this is a fantastic time to start buckling down and doing the nutrition right, because when your food is right and you're hitting your food numbers every day, that is when you will see the results come in a lot quicker. So hope some of those meal ideas sound good to you and that you're able to make some of those this week. Let's get into our main topic of the day. So really quick, let's do a trip recap of sorts. We went to Curacao. We left here Sunday morning, like last Sunday morning. I think we had to be at the airport. Our flight took off at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I don't even remember what time we had to be at the airport for that. But I do remember not having any downtime. Like we got up, we got dressed, we got over there to the airport, and we've never had a bad experience going through, like the airport or anything like that. So that always seems to go pretty easy and smoothly and pretty quickly for us. So we get to the airport, we go through everything fine. We park our car at the same place every time we take a flight. So that's super easy and simple. We get in there. When you're at the airport that early in the morning, y'all know it's not much even open just yet, which really didn't matter to us because, like I said, we got there in just enough time to like actually board our flight. We flew to Charlotte, got to Charlotte, and I think we only had like a 40-minute layover, which wasn't bad at all because when we landed in Charlotte, I think we were at one gate, maybe it was D1, and our next flight was at gate D4. So we literally walked across the walkway, got onto the other flight, and this is where this was their first thing that I was like, okay, I see you, girl. Okay, so help me understand. And it could just be that when you fly out of Atlanta, they just be letting stuff go. I don't know. But we get to Charlotte, and I cross the walkway to get on our next flight because they are actively boarding when we get there. And the lady is like, oh, no, you're going to have to check that bag. And I was like, oh, no, girl, you don't understand. I just got off of an American Airlines flight where no one said anything to me about my carry-on size bag. It flew here. And so, no, like, girl, we're okay because I don't check bags. Like, I don't check bags because I don't trust y'all. Like, I don't trust you guys. You all are amongst the people I don't trust. And I like knowing that when this plane touches down wherever it's supposed to be, that my bag and my things are in the overhead bin waiting for me. So when I get off this plane, I just exit this whole situation. I'm not going to nobody's baggage claim. I'm not standing around that thing, watching all the bags go round and round and round and round and round, waiting for you guys to load it so then I can then retrieve it and then be on my way. Like, girl, I'm on vacation and every minute matters. Every minute matters. So no, ma'am, no thanks. You will not be checking my bag. And she was like, well, you have to put it in this thing. And if it won't fit in the thing, like, you're going to have to check it. Then I thought to myself, like, really, Delta has never. Like, I have one carry-on piece of luggage that I use every time we go everywhere. I've had that thing so long that my husband was actually like, you need to buy new luggage. He was like, I don't know what it is about this particular piece of luggage that you are so attached to. He was like, but you need to let it go and get yourself something else. But anyway, I'm like, okay, ma'am. So I put my bag into whatever this American Airlines little measuring thing is. I put it in there, and of course, the front pocket won't pass the little thing, but it was just the front pocket, and it was nothing even in the front pocket, right? It just wouldn't. And I said, well, ma'am, just because it won't go past this bar, it doesn't mean it's not going to fit in the overhead bin, because it just came out of an overhead bin in my previous American Airlines flight. So it's gonna fit. And she was like, well, I can't help it that those people didn't do their job, but it's my job to make sure that bags that can't fit in this don't make it on the aircraft. She was like, so I can check it for you. And I looked at my husband and I said, I think I I think I don't want to I don't want to check my bag. And he looked at me like, you cannot always have everything your way. Like, girl, you're either going to check the bag or you staying home. Like, which one is it going to be? And I think because of the look on my face, he was like, you know what, Tia? You go get on the plane and you go sit down. He was like, I will check your bag and I will make sure that it makes it to Curacao. And so I said, okay. So I walked off. I left him, that bag, and that lady at the gate. And I went and I sat down and I proceeded to get myself real comfortable. So he gets on the flight and he hands me a ticket. And he was like, the lady said you can track your bag in their app. And she promises that your bag will make it to Curacao. He was like, she promised. He was like, I made her promise. And I said, okay, fine. What you know? I sat there and I said, well, I packed nothing in this backpack but snacks and my makeup, because my makeup would not fit in my carry-on bag after I put all my clothes and like toiletries and stuff in it, and my shoes, it wouldn't fit. So I had my makeup in my bag and my books, my snacks, my chargers, my headphones, like little things like that. I did not have even a swimsuit or one change of clothing in that backpack. And I said, okay, this is a learning moment, because anytime something like this happens where I feel like this didn't go the way that I wanted it to go, I'm like, what is the lesson here for me? And the lesson here is, from now on, you pack at least a swimsuit or a cover-up or something in this, because I had the space, I could have done it, but you need to pack something in your backpack. So in the event that someone makes you check your bag, you have something to kind of fall back on if things go the way you think they're going to go. The way your anxiety says it's going to go, if it goes that way, then girl, at least you have like one outfit and you don't have to get to where you're going and buy a whole bunch of like shirts with the name of the place on them because somebody lost your luggage. So anyway, we get on the flight. It's super long. I wait until, like we're pretty close before I start like watching a movie or anything like that. We land and instantly I'm like, wow, the people here are like so nice. Like we walked up to, we stayed at Sandals, Curacao. They have like a whole lobby in the airport there. So you walk up to that lobby, and before you can even say anything, they hand you a bottle of water that is cold, a bag of plantain chips, and they take your luggage and they say, you guys go have a great time. This bag will meet you in your room. You can go outside and have a seat on the shuttle. And we were like, this is amazing. This is great. We had never stayed at a Sandals before, but we had heard like great things about it. So I was anxious. Once I learned of what was going down, I was like, oh, well, this would be interesting to see if this lives up to all the hype that I've heard about it, So we get on the shuttle. It was so cold on the shuttle that I kept my Sherpa pullover on. So the AC was going and I'm already like, this is great. It was about I'm going to say 35-minute ride from the airport to the resort. They took a scenic route so that you could see some of the city, some of the water, some of the bridges, the person driving the shuttle. He gave us a lot of information about the current state of the island, some of the things that have been happening there politically. And that was very interesting to learn that one of the biggest plants there that employed a lot of the residents had recently shut down because I guess someone in Venezuela took it over. And, the people there are solely relying now on tourism dollars to make a living, right? So, he shared that. We get to the resort. They have people standing right there when the shuttle pulled up. There were people standing out there with clipboards. So you don't go to a front desk or anything like that. I guess in hindsight, they were separating people based on, I guess, your your accommodations. And that was a little bit of a mix-up, like I said, because we had never been to a Sandals before. We didn't know, so we bounced around to a couple of the people trying to figure out what list our name was on. Once we figured that out, they were like, oh, you go over here into this lounge, you have a seat, and somebody is going to call your name. And when they call your name, they'll take it from there. So we go into this lounge. It's beautiful. It's very well decorated. And again, everybody's so friendly, so nice. Somebody walks up to me, offers me a cocktail. I immediately take it because I'm like, ooh, girl, it's been a day. It's been a day and I haven't eaten anything of substance yet. And our flight landed in Curacao at 2:20 Curacao time, which is only like an hour ahead of like East Coast time, right? Give me a cocktail, and I'm like, I'm good for at least another 30 minutes. If I have to sit here and wait, like, I'm good, but I'm hungry, you know? Okay, so we're sitting there, and again, like, I'm not sure of like what to expect because I did not plan this trip, and a very young, strapping man walks up to us. And he's like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And we're like, yes. And he was like, hi, my name is Robinson. I'm your butler. And when he said that, I looked at my husband like, oh, you, sir, you wanted to make sure that I could not get back on this phone and say nothing bad about you. So if we're starting here, oh, this sets the tone. Like, this sets the tone. So he was like, my name is Robinson. I'm your butler. I think he said, I'm one of your butlers. He was like, I'm going to give you a tour of the resort so you know where everything is. And then we'll end the tour in your room. Like, you don't have to worry about checking in or like we've taken care of all of that. And your bags will be in your room by the time we get there. I said, oh, this is amazing. So we walk the resort. He points out where everything is at. He gives us his best tips and advice. He lets us know that things have already been like scheduled and planned. So like we don't have to make any decisions or like anything like that. Because apparently my husband had talked to him before we got there. He was like, so like you're set unless you see something and you just don't like it. But like I have taken the liberty to kind of set everything up. So let's go like check out your room and make sure everything is what you expected. So we open the door to our, let's call it a little villa, a little bungalow. It's a little bungalow moment. We open the door and it's gorgeous. Like it's got like a little tiki hut style top to it. We do the room tour. The bathroom was breathtaking. It was the perfect amount of space to like hang out and be there for as long as we were. The first thing I noticed when I opened that door is that they already had like champagne on ice and there was a tray of snacks, of small bites, if you will, on the table waiting for me. I looked at those snacks and my husband looked at me and he said, oh, I knew you would be hungry by the time we got here. So I had them go ahead and put some of that cute little stuff you like to eat together on a tray. I opened up that tray, and as Robinson continued to give us a tour of our space, I ate little small bites. We opened the doors, like he showed us how to open the doors so that we could have like an indoor-outdoor living situation. And I saw my little private plunge pool. I saw my little private hot tub, the outdoor shower, the lounge chairs with the umbrella. And I said to myself, oh, this is about to be the most relaxing 5 days I have probably had in years. Years. Because the way this is set up with 24-hour room service and a little squad of butlers, I truly don't even have to leave this room if I don't want to. I'm gonna want to though, because that's how I'm set up. But I don't have to if I don't want to. So we do the tour. Of course, we're going to go get something to eat. They have food trucks on the property, which I know when you hear food trucks, some people are like, ooh, why would you go all that way to eat a food truck? And I'm like, oh, because the food trucks serve the local food. And it was good. Like, I did not have one bad meal. The whole time we were there, I didn't. But some of my favorite meals actually came from the food trucks. Because of the size of the resort, there were never any long lines, or I never felt like it was overly crowded. And that's something for someone. Because I know when you get somewhere, you're like, oh, this is really good, or this is great, but like, I don't want to deal with waiting. Like, you just don't want to wait. You want your food when you want it. So that part was great. And then we kind of just hung out at the pool that first day, walked around, became really familiar with what was what. And then we went to dinner later on that night. And we went to the sushi restaurant at the resort that night. Now, the sushi restaurant was probably my least favorite of all of the places that we ate. And that's only because I feel like sometimes when you live somewhere that has really great things, when you travel, you're expecting it to be at least as good as like where you live. And living here in Atlanta, I feel like it's like the gift and the curse, because you're so used to getting good food and good entertainment. When you go other places, you're like, oh, this is like, I can do this, but we have better sushi at home. You know what I'm saying? We have better pho at home. This restaurant in particular, we don't have to eat here again while we're on vacation. We've tried it. Let's check it off, right? So we ate there, kind of closed the night because I was exhausted, but I think we did get in the hot tub to try it out, and it was great. So you close out that night. The next day, when I woke up, room service delivered breakfast. We went to the spa and had a 90-minute couples massage. It was amazing. They massaged my scalp. Like, that lady she massaged my scalp and everything else all the way down to my toes. Like, it was the best way to start the day. We left there, and as we were walking from the spa to the pool, which was a very short walk, we were walking to the pool, and our next butler met us like in the walkway with cocktails. His name was Samuda, and Samuda was like, hello, good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I hope you enjoyed your massage. Like, here are 2 cocktails. I have set up a space for you poolside. There is a cooler poolside filled with all the things to keep you nice and refreshed as you enjoy your day at the pool. Whenever you get hungry, because they give you a phone, like they give you like a butler phone for you to call and communicate with your butler throughout the day. He was like, whenever you get hungry, you just call me, and whatever it is you want, I will bring it to you. And I said, oh, I'm starting to get the hang of this whole situation, and I really like it. So we get to the pool, we sit down, and we just like have drinks, listen to music, we're people watching, we're talking, reading books off and on. And it was just like an amazing, just low key, relaxed pool day. I think that day the butler brought us, did he bring us nachos or whatever? Because it was so many different pool setups. One day we had nachos. One day we had like coconut shrimp and nachos, because the nachos, they were banging. One day we had some type of burger that they make on the island that had roasted peppers on it. Some type of sauce was on there. A fried egg was on there. And it was like just really, really good. And I can like when I think about it, I can taste the flavors. Like, I can taste it thinking about it. That's how good it was. But I don't know what kind of sauce it was. So I don't know if that's something I can try to recreate at home or not, but it was so good. And we did several like days at the pool like that. The next day, I think, was Wednesday, or Tuesday. I don't know, because the days started running together. So I think Tuesday was the day we took a yacht ride over to a private island called Klein Curacao. Once we were over there, and I think that's the day that the sun decided to eat me alive. Like, if you see me in real life, right now, like my gorgeous glow is coming through, but I'm still peeling in certain places, even though I put on SPF all throughout the day. Like I kept reapplying, and I don't know what happened. Like I just still got eaten alive. So I'm thinking my SPF wasn't Curacao strong. Could not have been, because I got eaten alive. But anyway, we get over there, and there's like a beautiful lighthouse, like a shipwrecked area where I guess some ship like came onto shore and just never made it. It's like an abandoned ship. That lighthouse was abandoned too. But if they were able to like renovate it and bring that back to life, like that would just be so beautiful. I mean, because it was really pretty, as a dilapidated, as I called it, as a dilapidated lighthouse, it was still really pretty. But I can imagine if they actually brought that back to life, like it would be gorgeous. So you could walk around the island and see some different things. But after we did that, we kind of just sat, we walked the beach. One of the great things about that day is that the yacht crew like provided 2 meals. So they made us like a brunch when we first got there. And then later on in the afternoon, they brought us some of like what I'm going to call like grilled food that like the locals make. At the end of the day, though, it was chicken and ribs. But when I mean to tell you, again, I don't know what sauce that was. It was a different sauce than the sauce from the hamburger. But whatever they marinated their chicken and their ribs in, it was so good. They served it with peas and rice. Then they also served it with some type of pasta that was amazing. They served it with corn, and then a salad that had some type of like peanutty dressing, very similar to the peanut dressing that came in that Costco salad I just told y'all about. So they served it with that. It was all good. Like it was perfect. The beach was beautiful. The water was that gorgeous color you see in the commercials and in magazine ads. And it was just an amazing day. The yacht itself was amazing. The only thing I would say about that though, if again, we're being very picky, is that I wish there was the option to go back and forth from the boat to the island. Like once we got off of the yacht, you couldn't get back on it until like the crew got back on it at the end of the day. And because I felt like I was getting severely eaten by the sun, I would have liked the option to go like get back on the boat and kind of just hang out there for a little bit, until it was time to go. Now that ride, the boat ride, was an hour from the resort. So like they pick you up at the resort, like you get on the yacht at the resort. It's an hour ride over to Klein Curacao, and it's an hour ride back. The water was fine. Like it wasn't bumpy or choppy. We got to see dolphins on our way back. So that was a nice unexpected treat. And I could tell like when the dolphins were, like swimming with the boat and like I had my phone out recording them, I looked back at my husband and he was smiling at me like, yeah, I know, like you're thinking I did a good job. Like, I know it's nothing. It's going to be, you're not going to have any notes. Like, I'm doing a good job. This is great. So we get back to the resort, kind of end the day, I think like at the pool again, eating, like whatever. One thing I can say about all-inclusive resorts, because we stayed at one when we went to Mexico last year, is that some people say like, oh my gosh, by the 3rd or 4th day, I'm sick of eating and drinking. And I'm like, well, maybe we didn't eat and drink enough. Now, there were days where I felt like by dinner time, I certainly wasn't hungry, or hungry enough. So, like I would sample what I could, but I didn't force myself to eat because I didn't want to be, sick. Like I didn't want to have a stomach ache. So maybe the next time we go back, because I'm definitely expecting to go back at some point, I'm like, okay, I'll try more foods maybe, because now I kind of see how the flow of the day goes. So you can't really fill up too much at breakfast, because that doesn't leave you much wiggle room for like the rest of the day to keep eating and trying different things. And the food was so good, you want to keep eating and trying, right? So Anyway, the next day was a full-on, like, hang out at the pool, either the pool in our room or the pool at the main pool, because the DJ there was really good. And I want to say on our last day is the day we went into the city to do, like, just sightseeing. Now, apparently, he had originally planned a different tour for us, and that tour included a stop at, like, the local cafeteria, where you go in and you try foods from, like, restaurants that are very popular with the, the people that live on the island. But for whatever reason, that tour got canceled. And so then he rescheduled us, like, our own, like, private tour, with someone who was recommended by one of the butlers. He actually used to be a butler at the resort, but then started, like, running his own business. And he was great. His name was Rudolph, with an F. He wants people to know. And he gave us an amazing tour. We went to a farm and we saw ostriches. We saw these beautiful jet black pigs. We saw peacocks, parrots, like all of these different exotic animals up close that I can say I had never really seen up close like that before. He took us to see flamingos, and typically he says the flamingos are a lot closer to, like, the shore of the water, but this particular day they were kind of far out, but we got to see flamingos, like, in their natural habitat. That was beautiful. He took us to Kokomo Beach, and I'm not gonna front, all my life we've all heard that song. What is that? Way down in Kokomo, Bermuda, Bahama, come on pretty mama, that song. I don't think I ever thought, like, I just thought Kokomo just rhymed with what that man was singing about. But apparently Kokomo Beach is, like, a real place. Because we went, I sat on the swing at Kokomo Beach. Well, you can't really swing in the water, but, like, the water there was really warm. Now, one thing I have to point out is that if you decide to go to Curacao, like, I felt like Kokomo Beach, or at least where you park and get out and walk down, they have, like, a restaurant there and, like, bathrooms and, like, the whole beach set up. But I didn't feel like it was that much space. Like, you're with people. You're not spread out. It's not going to be a spread out situation. Like, you have to be okay with kind of being very close to people, because that area of the beach wasn't far and wide as far as, like, sand and chairs and, like, all of that goes. But the water was warm and it was beautiful. So I was glad we got to see that. He took us through the city so we could see where the Venezuelan shop owners, I guess they come over on, like, a ferry, and they set up, like, a street market, and they sell fruits and veggies and different things. And their agreement with the Curacao government is that they can sell whatever they want, but they can't sell anything that is locally grown in Curacao. So, like, I know one of the things that he said that they're really, they sell a lot of in Curacao is, like, sweet potatoes. He was like, so they can't, like, come over here and sell things that we grow and we sell, but they can come, they can come sell anything else. So I thought that was interesting. So we got to see that. We went to the distillery where they make the famous, like, blue Curacao liqueur, and it comes in all different flavors. I sampled a few of those, and I think my favorite one was the chocolate. But our butler, Samuda, actually makes a cocktail with the blue Curacao liquor that is just my favorite. Like, he said he's been perfecting that cocktail for years. He used to be a mixologist, and he said now that he has it, like, down, he was like, he makes it only for his guests. So it's not like something you can, like, order on one of the menus or anything like that. You can't get it from just any old bartender at the resort. He's got to be your butler to get it. He said, but sometimes people will see me making it and they will ask for one. And he's like, and of course I'll make it for them. Now, this is the cocktail that he handed us after the spa on, like, that first morning. And me and my husband fell in love with it. On the last day of our stay, I was like, Samuda, that cocktail is so good. And I know you said you made it up and you've perfected it over the years. So I'm hoping there's a recipe that you don't mind sharing with me. I promise not to tell anybody else what the recipe is. I promise not to sell it. Like, I promise to keep it between you and I. But when I want a little taste of Curacao over the summer, I want to be able to make this and then think about the great time that I had while I was here. And he said, you know what, Miss Smith? Like, I don't do this for everybody. He was like, but I'm going to give you your own private mixology class before you go. And when I mean to tell you, on our very last morning there, he took our bags and then he took me behind the bar and taught me how to make that cocktail. He took me behind the bar. He taught me how to make that cocktail. And it was like the perfect way to end our time there. Like, everybody was just so nice. And I don't want to forget to mention our other butler, Jean-Paul, who was like amazing. Ooh, because Thursday night, our last night in Curacao, my husband had set up like a candlelight dinner on the beach, and that was great. The food during that dinner was amazing. We got to watch the sunset. He did this cute thing where it was kind of like an episode of The Bachelor, because I watched that and I get all into it. So he had kind of set it up like it was like a rose ceremony, before we go to hometowns, and he had somebody record it, and it's like super cute. But, that butler really helped him set up that whole dinner, he said. But if I ever share the video, then the butler you see in the video is actually Robinson, because, you know, they work different shifts and different days. But yes, lovely, great time. Great people. Everyone was so nice. I did not run into one person that worked at that resort that I felt like didn't want to help me or had an attitude, like maybe they were having a bad day. Not one person. Not one person. I had such a great time that not only did I not want to come back home, like I wasn't ready, and it wasn't because I didn't want to come back home to my responsibilities. It was because I genuinely was enjoying myself there on the island. I told my husband, I was like, oh, we have to figure out how to like live like this at some point in our lives before it's all said and done. I have to be an island girly for some era of my life. Like, we have to live on an island, because I feel like deep down inside, I'm an outside girl. Like, I grew up playing outside at my grandparents' house in South Carolina. And I feel like the older I get, I'm just returning to that same girl, but like older and with responsibilities, right? I was like, I need to be close to the water. I need to be outside. I need to be somewhere where the weather is always pretty much steady, like in Curacao. Like, they're not in the hurricane belt. It's below the hurricane belt. So all year long, the weather is like perfectly in the 80s, maybe close to the 90s. They said rain season is in our fall. So if you visit them, I want to say they said from like August to November, or like right at the end of the year, but before December. If you visit, it might rain, girl. Like, it might rain, but we know how it rains at the beach. It might rain for 15 minutes and then it's fine. But yeah, we had such a great time that I told my husband, I was like, oh, I have to come back here. Like, I have to come back here at some point. It's got to be here. We have to live. We have to have an island era at some point. And my husband was like, oh yeah, like he has a favorite island, or he has a place that I guess he's looked into that he wants to live in when we're retired. And so I told him, I was like, I'm serious. I don't care if I have to take grown children with us when we go. We have to do that before it is all said and done, because this is where I feel the most connected and the most grounded and just the most at ease. Like, give me the islands, or like give me nothing at all. Like, girl, I don't know. But if you have never been to Curacao, because that was my first time going. If you have never been to Curacao, please consider going on your next Caribbean vacation. The island is very much so in the developmental stages. So when you get there, it's not going to be a million bars or a million nightclubs. It's not going to be amusement parks and like, you know how it is when you go places. It's not going to be any of that, because they're in the process of like rebuilding from when that plant closed, right? So when you go, be in the mood for like a laid back true like island experience. And I think if you go with that in mind, you'll have the best time. Like you will have the most incredible time. And I cannot wait to go back. So that's a recap on my trip, girl. He did a good job. If you see me and I'm like, my man, it's because of that trip, sis. Because he did his thing. He knocked it out of the park. And, moving forward, if he ever says he's going to plan anything, I will not give him as much grief as I gave him about this. Because I kept saying, like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want me to look at what you got going on? Are you sure you don't want me to double check behind you? Bruh, like, are you sure? Because I've known you since 2002. We got married in 2005. And the whole time I've known you, I have always just planned it all. Because especially when I was younger, my little type A, super organized little self would be like, oh no, let me just, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I got this. Because I want it to be the way I want it to be. So you just give me the funds and bruh, like I got it. You know what I'm saying? But now, like, as I'm older and I'm learning to like let things go and be okay with the fact that you might have to check a bag, even though the first person didn't make you check it. So I'm learning to be more at ease in all things. I'm just like, yeah, if you have more of an open mind going into a situation and you don't put too many expectations on certain things, I'm not saying drop your standards and your expectations altogether, but I'm just saying if you can just learn to be a little bit more open-minded, sometimes you will be pleasantly surprised. And I definitely was pleasantly surprised about this. I told a friend, I'm not going to give that man a hard time about nothing for at least a month. So he probably has until Easter where I'm going to just be like, not too much on him. Like, not too much. Come April, though, when these children go on spring break, I'm going to probably be like, bruh. Like, okay, we have ridden the wave of Curacao long enough. Let's see what we've got planned for the rest of 2024. So that is a recap on the trip. Now, something that I wanted to talk about very quickly, because I have a nail appointment at 11:30. And I thought my nail appointment was yesterday at 10:30, but when I got there, they were like, oh no, girl, that appointment was for 9:30. And I'm like, was it? Did you write down 9:30? And I said 10:30? Because that's what I'm thinking happened. But again, like, I'm going to just take this as a blessing and I'm about to go back home and get some stuff done. Anyway, I have a nail appointment at 11:30 and I need about 10 minutes to get there, girl. So at 11:20, please stop me. I wanted to talk about two things that have been in my Threads timeline dealing specifically with Tia Mowry and Jennifer Lopez. Now, what do those two ladies have in common? Probably not much, other than the fact that they're both entertainers, right? They both work in the entertainment industry. As we know, Tia Mowry is one of the famous twins from Sister Sister. She was on The Game. She's been in cute holiday movies. Like, she is one of our TV legends. She's had other shows too. Oh, she was on that show on Netflix for a long time too. What was it called? Man, I hate that I can't. The Family Reunion show, right? That show lasted for forever. Like, she's accomplished. Yes. Jennifer Lopez, same thing. We know J-Lo has done it all. She's done fashion lines. She's done music. She's been in movies. She's literally done everything. And I decided to watch J-Lo's documentary last night because I saw somebody post about it, and people weren't saying like the nicest things about it. I think I only saw one person say something that was genuinely like nice, but everybody else was kind of like dragging her about this documentary. And I'm like, first of all, I thought it was a musical, but then when you go on Amazon Prime, you see like, oh, there's a musical. She did a musical, and then she also did like a documentary that's kind of like the makings of the musical. And in the very beginning of the documentary, she talks about why she decided to also do a documentary. And she says it is because she wanted to prove to people, or she wanted to prove something to people, or she wanted to kind of like explain herself to people because she was tired of people basically talking junk about her. She was like, I'm tired of people talking junk about me. So this documentary should answer all the questions that you have about me. And she says that her love story with Ben Affleck, and he says it too, because it was written on a notebook that I guess they had kept all these years, like 20 something years. This notebook that he gave her contains every email and every letter that he had ever written her over the past 2 decades. Now, even though if we think about it long enough, we could get messy with that. We could get messy with that because we all know both of them was in relationships with other people, but we don't really care about that, right? That's none of our business. What we do care about, though, is the fact that she truly, at her age of like 50 something, feels like she owes us like an explanation for how her life has played out in the public eye. And in parts of the documentary, she gets very tearful, like she's very emotional. She talks about how she was emotionally neglected as a child. So she kind of feels like as a woman, that's why she went from relationship to relationship, because she was always seeking like validation and love from wherever she could get it. And she talked about how Ben Affleck was like the greatest love of her life, but like all of the media scrutiny that was happening when they got together really caused them to break up. She was like, that's why we didn't make it, because it was just too much. She was like, but I never like stopped loving him, and I guess he certainly never stopped loving me, right? And so like fast forward, this is her now. They're married. But just listening to her tell her stories and talk about her experience with people's opinion of her and how it is in some ways it kept her from doing certain things. But for the most part, she says she knew people would talk junk about her and she just decided to do stuff anyway. She was like, I would fear that things wouldn't be good or great. She was like, but I did it anyway. Like I never allowed fear to keep me from doing what I felt was best for me or what I thought was the right move to make. She said, and sometimes, yeah, it would flop. She was like, but sometimes it ended up being great. She was like, but you can't imagine what it's like to be, I guess, under so much scrutiny, like all the time for every little decision that you make, be it in your professional life or your private life. And she was like, and at the end of the day, like I'm a person and you just get tired, like you grow weary of people's perceptions of you and them thinking that you don't deserve something or that you did deserve something if something bad happened to you or that you're crazy or you're this or you're that. And I was surprised to see how all of that has truly worn her out. Like, you could tell she wasn't just putting it on for the camera. You could tell that these are like her real feelings. And that she's truly just exhausted from people just talking about her, whether it's good or bad. She was like, because at the end of the day, I guess what she's learned is that you will never please everybody. So you always have to make decisions based on how you feel in your heart. And then, I guess stand 10 toes down if it ends up kind of not being the best situation. She said, I've been married for 11 months. I've been married for 12 months. I was married for 10 years. And she said, and now like I'm married to Ben. And I think they've been married for what, like maybe a year? Not even? I don't know. I can't remember how long they've been married. But she said through all of those different relationships, she was like, do people like honestly think I was sitting somewhere saying like, yeah, I'll marry him. And then, then I'll just break up with him a year from now. She was like, no, I wasn't going into those private relationships in the public eye thinking that they were all doomed to fail. She was like, I was always secretly hoping that one of them would be the one. She was like, but none of them ever compared to the love she had with Ben Affleck. So when I think about that, I'm like, how brave is she? And I know we can say a lot of things about Jennifer Lopez because people do, because I be reading them online. People say she don't sing her own songs. She stole songs. Ashanti and Christina Milian be singing for her. People say her acting isn't that great. I personally love a good Jennifer Lopez rom-com. I loved her in Selena. Like, I think her movies are good. I think that at a point in time, her music, people cannot deny it. She was putting out like hit after hit. I mean, yes, maybe Ashanti or Christina Milian or whoever was singing the songs, but you know what I'm trying to say. There was a point in time where J-Lo was like explosive. She was everywhere. And I think having that and having like a private life and having to do all of it out in front of everybody is something that I can not only like not imagine, but when things go wrong, I could not imagine feeling like not only do you have to explain yourself to maybe like your immediate family, but you feel like you have to like explain yourself to the whole like world. So it's interesting to me that based on what I saw, I'm like, oh, back then she really didn't know she was that girl. Like, and she talks about this, like in the documentary. That was mind blowing to me because I'm like, girl, they was telling people that we needed to have a body like yours. We needed to have a booty like yours. Like your style was like what everybody was supposed to be like emulating. Like, I remember when you were at the height of everything, when you and Ben went on Oprah, like I remember all of that. Because when she went on Oprah while she was engaged to Ben, or maybe after they broke up, I can't remember. But I remember like all the girls in the dorms huddling together and like watching it. So I'm like, it's interesting to me that even though you were like the it girl of a whole era, you were her. You were her. You never knew that and you never felt it. And because you never knew it and you never felt it, you made decisions as if you were not, right? So that's one side of what we're going to talk about. The other side to that is Tia Mowry, who we all know, we grew up watching her on TV. She was married to that other actor. They recently broke up. And ever since then, she has been making like the funniest and cutest videos on social media, displaying like her style and her personality. She seems to have a very like warm, funny, sweet spirit, in the way that I would have to say she always seemed to have, as someone who has followed her since Sister. And people are truly bothered by that. They are bothered by the fact that I think now post-divorce, and maybe it took her getting divorced to realize this, we don't know, but maybe post-divorce, she has for the first time realized like, oh, like I'm T, like I'm it. I'm the bar, like I'm one of one. Like I need to get on either social media or maybe even in my real life and like pop my stuff a little bit more because I'm really her. Like I'm really that girl and I know that now. And so now I'm walking through life believing that. Like I'm no longer doing what I was doing before. Like I'm walking through life as if I'm aware of how special and great and worthy and lovable and funny and creative and smart I am. And y'all, that is bothering people. People are upset and they're saying she's like cringy because she makes these cute, fun videos online. And my only takeaway from that is that like, oh, like joy really bothers people. Joy bothers people because people aren't used to it. We're used to hearing people like complain. We're used to hearing people talk about how bad things are. We're used to like unsavory gossip. But when people are full of joy and their light is shining and they're practically just like illuminating because they're like so happy and they feel like they're at the, their peak, right? They're in their peak season. Other people are really bothered by that and maybe it's because it is foreign to a lot of people. Like we're not used to seeing it. So when you see it, you don't even know how to process it. And so it comes off as cringy to you, but to a person or to a woman who's like truly tapped into like all that can happen and that does happen in life, you'll see somebody like Tia and you'll say like, oh, I'm so happy for her because she's gone through whatever it is that she's gone through. And instead of becoming like bitter and sad and like downtrodden and letting herself go, she's like, oh no, baby, I've been waiting. Like I'm in my 40s. I've been waiting on this moment. I think she said he was her first boyfriend and then they got married. So she never dated. She never did a lot of the stuff people do in their 20s. And so now she's finding herself through having all of those first experiences that many of us like had a long time ago. And it is bothering people. But what I think they both have in common is that they both decided that they were going to live unapologetically and let the chips fall where they may. So for J-Lo, that was falling in and out of love in the public eye and trying not to let public opinion like consume her to the point where she just stopped believing in love altogether. And for Tia, she was like, this relationship is not working for me anymore. Like I'm done. Like I just want to be me, whatever that means. So they both come to a place where I believe, and I think J-Lo actually says this in her documentary, that she would feel the fear, but do things anyway. She would feel the fear and do things anyway. And that doing things with fear very much so like alive and well in you, she said is hard. She admits that like it's debilitating, like it's not always the easiest thing to do. She was like, but I think part of growing and being a woman is sometimes not being so sure of every single thing and allowing yourself to just go through things and see what happens. And I think because now people try to have such heavily curated lives, and I don't even mean like on social media, I think like in real life, we try to have situations go like so perfect, so like well done all the time that we forget to actually be present for the life that we're living and then live it too. So for example, I will use myself because I'm so used to like planning and orchestrating and facilitating everything. I could have been like, oh, nope, I don't care what you planned for my birthday. I want to do what I said I wanted to do. Right. And had I done that, had I tried to so heavily curate my own experience for this, I would have missed out on an amazing trip. Right. An amazing trip, an amazing experience. I think both J-Lo and Tia have at least taught me over these past couple of days, just reading through different things on social media, that is where true happiness comes from, is one of the places it comes from, is allowing yourself to live perhaps a little bit imperfectly. Like things aren't always going to be so super perfect, but when it's good, or if you can work through like the parts of it that aren't like the most ideal, you'll get to a place where you're like, but you know what? This might actually be better. I'm sure Tia did not think she was going to get a divorce when she married him a long time ago. And for whatever reason, whatever happened in their relationship, she probably tried to work through like the imperfections of it. And she probably really tried. And at the end of the day, just said, you know what? I'm going to be a lot happier if I do the thing that I really wish I didn't have to. Because I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a fallout and there's going to be all these questions surrounding my decision. But I'm going to do it because I know that for me, doing something that doesn't really fit the plan I had for myself is going to ultimately make me a happier person. Same thing for Jennifer Lopez. I don't think Jennifer for 1 second ever said like, oh, I'm going to get married, I'm going to get divorced, I'm going to have all these different boyfriends and break up with them all the time and just let y'all continue to talk dirt about me and sling mud on my name. On my name. I'm not going to allow you guys' opinion of me to keep me in something that I know isn't serving me. Like, I don't care if I have to get married and break up 11 times, a million times before I stay in something that's no longer good for me. I'm going to break up with him, and it's fine. And I will move on. Now, in her case, she talks about how absolutely heartbreaking all of that was for her and how she had to deal with that, like, in her private life. But at the end of the day, she was like, I was always brave enough to just say, like, ooh, this is not good for me anymore. I'm moving on. Right. And I think that is a lesson that we can all kind of take with us as we search for like our own peak wellness, our peak happiness, or whatever it is. Doing the things that probably will make other people uncomfortable. They will have questions about it. They won't understand it. It may come off a little cringy to somebody, but if it's ultimate happiness for you, do it anyway. Do it anyway. Because like she said in her documentary, at the end of your life, you won't be thinking about the people who said you were cringy. You're going to be thinking about all the people that loved on you and supported you and how much you're going to miss them, or like just your best wishes for them. You're not going to be thinking about the people who were just waiting on your downfall anyway. And that is the main thing I took from her documentary, that I was like, you know what, J-Lo? You know what? I don't know if we really needed this doc, because you said this was an unheard love story. But girl, I think we heard it 20 years ago. But just, it's fine. Because if you are an artist and you felt like you needed to put that documentary together, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Because this one nice little anecdote, I'm going to take that and I'm going to hold on to it, and I'm going to keep it with me as I continue to grow and mature and age and, create my own memories and go through life. That it's perfectly okay to be unapologetically yourself, because at the end of the day, there's too much resistance in being anything else. And I think the same goes for Tia. It's too much of a resistance. It's too much work, and it's hard to be anything else, especially if you're only being that thing based on what you think other people are going to say or perceive about you. So if you haven't seen that documentary, give it a watch. Now, remember, I'm not saying the musical thing that she put together. I'm saying watch the actual documentary that she put together. Okay. And that's no shade. I'm just saying that's what I actually watched, the documentary. Okay. So for the workout report, because I probably got a few minutes and I got to wrap it up. For the workout report, I'm hitting a reset button. I've worked out really hard, for the past 13 months. Y'all know I did the personal training thing. That was an investment in a lot of ways. This month, I just kind of want to give myself a break, because one thing people don't like to talk about, or they don't talk about it enough, is that when you're working out really hard and you're watching what you eat or whatever, it does become like an all-consuming fire. I don't care what anybody says. And at some point, you do need to take a break, especially if you're feeling burnt out from it. Now, I'm not saying do this if you're at the beginning of your journey, because girl, you ain't been doing it long enough to get burnt out. But if you've been on a journey for quite some time, I'm not saying stop working out altogether, but I'm saying switch up what you're doing to give yourself the ability to have fun doing it again. So this month, I'm going to get back into my Pilates. I'm going to get back into dancing, back into running, back into doing some of the hit stuff that I like to do, because you do that to music and I love that. I'm going to give myself just a little moment to come up for air, have a break from having to meet somebody at a place and a time, and give myself a break from feeling like I gotta be in the gym and that's the only way I'm gonna get a good workout. I'm gonna give myself a chance to do that. And I think in April, I might get a different trainer. I might try something else. I don't know. I don't want to speak on it just yet because I don't know what I'm gonna do. At the end of it all, we know I'll probably just go back to the gym and keep doing my same workout routine, but I don't know if I'll choose to try a trainer or not. My husband was like, oh, you should try a different trainer and see, what you get. But I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's why I need a month to just kind of reset, refocus, and just see where I'm led after this month is up. I really do like the results that I was able to see during our trip. I don't think you can always see all of your gains every day, like in your regular clothes, especially for me, because I wear a lot of sweats, a lot of leggings, a lot of baggy sweatshirts, because I wear a lot of my husband's hoodies, and I wear a lot of his like shirts and things because it's cold, and his stuff is more comfortable than mine. So I can't always even see my body, but when we were on our trip and I had those bikinis on, I was like, oh yeah, she really did help you mold the body type that you told her she wanted. So I could say a lot of stuff about my time with my trainer. And I have shared a lot of it with my friends. At the end of the day, I do love my trainer, so I don't want to take it there. But, what I will say is that now looking at myself in pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, she definitely was helping me create exactly what I told her that I wanted. Because let me tell you, because I'm certain that these pictures will never see the light of day, unless there is a monetary value attached to them. The pictures that my husband took of me in all of my thong bikinis are so good from the back. I'm like, oh, instantly. Oh, like, yes, she did it. She gave me exactly what I said I wanted, which was a beautiful, like curvy, but fit looking body. So now I just need to focus on like dialing down and tweaking my nutrition to make sure that I keep progressing in the same way. And I got to make sure that I'm not working out so hard that I start to eat up the muscle and the gains that I have. That's why I say you got to tread very lightly. Once you get to a place that you're happy with, you got to tread lightly, because at some point you might start eating into your muscle. And that's when you become maybe a little smaller than what you wanted to. And I don't want to be too much smaller than what I am now. Like, I would like to just kind of live in the place that I am, but just maybe just a tad bit more toned. And I think giving myself a few weeks of like Pilates and HIIT and a little cardio will help me burn and shed a little fat, especially after a vacation. And I think that'll help me get to where I want to be. So I'm going to hit the reset button, give myself a break, and we'll see what's in store for us in April. Some of the random yet relatable things that I want to discuss with you are some of the books that I read while I was gone. Number 1, The Vanishing Half, a very popular book that was highly recommended to me. If you haven't read it yet, like, girl, I'm going to tell you, you can go ahead and read it. But the ending is like The Vanishing Half. And I'm going to leave it at that. Next up, I read A Love Song for Ricky. Wild. It was a beautiful book from the first page to the last page. Loved it, loved it, loved it. 5 stars, 10 out of 10. One of my goals for this year is to read books and then give them away to like friends who also want to read them. So I read Ricky's story. I loved Ricky's story. And I have already gifted that book to a friend so that she can fall in love with it too. And so right now I'm reading 7 Days in June, and I'm going to do the audiobook version of Cicely Tyson's autobiography. So I'm excited about those. I'm still watching Love is Blind. It's a mess. They need to do something about that show because too much gets leaked and spilled before the season is even over. So I think Netflix is either going to have to start releasing all of the episodes all at once, or they're going to have to tighten up those NDAs. Because, I mean, by the time we have a reunion, we know everything about everybody. And, I mean, where's the fun in that? And they've released some type of trailer about bringing people who were once on the show, like, back for their own season. And one of the people, Marshall, that's in the trailer is literally engaged to somebody right now. So I'm like, what is this mess that y'all are putting together on Netflix? I mean, I'm going to watch it, but what is it? Another great thing that came from my trip was one of the days my husband taught me how to play chess, because they had one of those big, like, life-size chess boards, like, out on the property. And so he taught me to play chess. He plays all the time. And at first I was like, oh, this is boring. Like, when we were doing the pieces, like, in person, I was like, this is so boring. I'm going to need a cocktail. But then he downloaded an app on my phone that's like the chess app. He was like, oh, you'll learn a lot quicker if you just play games like on your phone. And you guys, I'm addicted. Like, not only was he right, it definitely helped me learn like the game of chess pretty quickly. I mean, I'm not good yet. Like, I'm not beating people all the time or anything like that, but it is very relaxing to sit and play a game of chess. Like, who knew? It's good for your nervous system. Like, it calms you down and it gives you something to think about other than the other millions of things that are probably on your mind. So if you've never played chess or even thought about learning, and girl, you're looking for a hobby or something to do, I highly recommend it. It's been a great little takeaway. And every time I move a piece in my little chess app, I think about Curacao and how good of a time that was to me. And lastly, I think my new favorite travel days are going to be Sunday to Friday, which I know does not give you a Saturday, but hear me out. When you travel from Sunday to Friday, when you get back home, you have a whole weekend to recover from said travel before you have to return back to work or being a parent or like whatever. I think giving myself those 2 days of like a cushion time, because when he was planning everything, he asked me and I was like, well, yeah, just do like Sunday to Friday. So that way I'm gone for like the actual school week. You know what I'm saying? And that way I'm gone for like what I consider to be one of my big jobs. It's actually like I'm taking PTO. Getting back Friday night and having Saturday and Sunday to just kind of rest and recover, you will never hear me say I'm planning to go somewhere and I no longer have that 2-day cushion to give myself a chance to just recover from all of it before I have to return back to my everyday life. I think that's the only reason that re-entry has not been hard for me. It's because I had time to kind of just decompress before I had to hit the ground running again. 10 out of 10, recommend. Sunday to Friday, do all of your travel and all of the things. Come back home, have Saturday and Sunday to not unpack your suitcase or unpack your suitcase, whichever way you may fall on that. Sit on your couch, read books, watch TV, just relax. And then on Monday, let things just kind of take off as they tend to do on a Monday. Highly recommend that. Well, girl, it is 11:05, so let me go walk my dogs. Girl, get over here to this nail salon so I can get my nails done because they do look a hot mess. And I will talk to you on our next call. Thank you so much for joining me here at Tia's Table. Remember, when you're out, compliment a woman, say something nice to her, make her day, make her smile, help her shine a little bit brighter than she was already shining. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you. And never knock another woman's hustle. I will talk to you on our next call, girl. Love you. Bye.